Gemini, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for mid-June 2026. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we can dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Gemini collective. I hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for the beautiful Geminis in mid-June 2026? It is Gemini season. What energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. And at the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Gemini in mid-June. What's the vibe? What's the energy? Let's have some fun here, my friends. And while I get this first card out, I want to once again wish you all a very happy birthday from me to you, whether it's already passed, whether it's today, whether it's still coming up. I really hope you have a great one, my friends. Okay, cool. So we're starting off with a really good card, actually. So we have this Empress energy. Now, of course, this isn't a tarot deck. It is an oracle, but this image, this picture, this card always screams Empress vibes to me, and that's one of the best cards in the whole entire deck. Now, of course, are there downsides? Sure. But to me, this is beautiful blessings. Now, before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the June subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk more in depth about this card. So as you can see, we have this lovely lady here with the tree of life tattooed on her back. She's surrounded by all the nature, the birds and the animals and the different plants, and it just screams Empress to me. And when I think of Empress, I think of Venus energy, which is usually very enjoyable, very pleasurable, blessings and abundance, fertility, motherhood, nurturing, loving, caring. These are all words that come to mind whenever I see the Empress. So that's always a great sign. Even if within the tarot reading itself we see some dicey stuff, this is a huge silver lining because it's energy pushing in the right direction, which is really nice. Now, the downside to Empress energy is that it's so heavy. There's so much weight to it. There's so much involved that sometimes it can make you feel weighed down. So in this time, watch that you're getting enough rest and recuperation, because sometimes you might just feel zapped, like you don't have a lot of energy. Sometimes this energy could feel like someone's thrown a wet blanket on you. So just watch out for that. But for the most part, I think this is just filled with potential and the blessings and abundance. And for some of you, some time in nature might really do you good. But we're just going to put her down right there. She could keep chilling out with the animals. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Let's shuffle it up one time here for Gemini. And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. So it was titled Explosive Action Incoming. That's intriguing, right? Now, whether it's an action you took, action someone else is taking, an action you wanted to take, the reading was just filled with this fiery energy, which usually works well with Gemini. So for some of you, it could have been actually really, really good, where it's like big results quickly, things happening, things coming in. For others, there's a little surprising quality to it. So just watch out. That energy could bleed over for a couple weeks. But we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you. Let's get it going here. 3 cards for Gemini in their birthday season. Towards the back end, what do we got? Okay. 7 of Swords, position number 1. That showed up in the exact same spot in the Leo reading. So we're going to have to keep an eye on this. And again, it doesn't, for those of you that know the meanings of the cards, it doesn't mean that the whole reading, we're going to throw it out the window. It's just an interesting way to start. Okay, 2 of Wands, watching. What is this watching? Okay, yeah. All right. Fire-air combination once again, my good friends. And we'll talk about the significance of that. Let's get one more. What do we got for Gemini here, please? Cool. 10 of Pentacles. Nice. All right, so this might be a good result in the end. And I love that we have a mixture of elements, and this earthy energy is somewhat grounding down all the stuff we have going on the front. But let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes. Then we'll get into that juicy intuitive stuff. But at first glance, you know me, I always love to look at the elements. I feel like it's important, and it frames the reading for us. It tells us how comfortable you might be with the energy. And we have a good mix this week. And I've been seeing that through a lot of zodiac signs. It seems like most signs have a pretty good mixture. We have air, fire, and earth. Cool. Now, these could be all different areas of life, right? There could be one area that's just beautiful, bursting at the seams. There could be other ones that are a little dicey, depending on what shows up. But when it comes to air, that's your power element. Gemini is an air sign. So I think of a very logical, pragmatic, intelligent type of energy. It deals heavily with information, whether it's giving it, receiving it, thirsting for information, trying to figure things out. That's huge when it comes to air. And obviously, communication plays a big part as well. The downside to air, I always say it could be a little too clinical, right? Like it could be like lacking or void of emotions. It could be very surgical, detached, a little bit cold. So that's something we want to watch out for, especially overthinking. In the center, we have fire, just like the action we were seeing last week, right? Fire is the element and suit of action. So again, whether it's actions you take, actions other people take, actions that you want to take, they all play in. Energy levels, just like we were seeing with the Empress in the front. And these two combined intensify each other. They feed off of each other. So we really want to see what's going on up here. The downside to fire is the intensity, honestly, the explosive quality, like we were seeing last week, where it's like something could look like it's going one direction and then peel off in a totally different one. But then on the back end, we have Earth, total opposite to all that. Earth is very predictable. It's very grounded. It represents results. It represents routine, day to day life. Think of things that you do daily: money, work, business, finance, material matters, home, and family. That's all linked with this earthy vibe. The only downside to Earth is that it could sometimes feel stuck. So, the one thing I want to watch out for is all this intensity building here, but the Earth either grounding it down or blocking it out. So, let's go through and start building this out piece by piece. Position number one, we start with a little bit of a doozy, right? And I don't want to call it a warning just yet, but we do have the Seven of Swords, and we see our little pal here making away with all the swords, right? Now, in its most positive sense, this card can just represent something that's not on our radar, right? Something unexpected, something we don't quite see, something we don't know. Yeah, to me, it's just something in the shadows. So we do want to dig into this further and say, like, okay, what's going on? Sometimes when the Seven of Swords shows up, your intuition, like you might feel something in your gut, whether it's like something that you want to do or something that someone else is up to. It's like, my spidey senses are going off. That's something that happens with this card. Now, in its most rough aspect, this card can represent secrets, secrecy, hidden energy, liars, thieves, things like that. So there very well could be a warning here. I'm not going to say definitely, but we want to absolutely not neglect the Seven of Swords energy starting up. I mean, maybe there's certain things that you just have a lot of questions, right? Or maybe there is someone or something you are very skeptical about, because moving to the center, we got the Two of Wands, right? And we see this person there. Usually twos represent partnerships, decisions, choices, being at a crossroads. But out of all the twos, this one to me represents planning, strategy, right? And that's another theme I saw, especially in the fire signs this week, is either the need for planning or someone moving in a strategic manner. But aside from the strategy and planning, this to me is a card of observing. So the fact that it was like right next to the Seven of Swords here, it's like, I'm keeping a lookout, right? The spidey senses for some reason. So is this spirit saying like, hey, Gemini, you need to be cautious about this, cautious about this situation, cautious in general? We will have to see. Now, the downside to the Two of Wands, sometimes this is an energy that can absolutely overthink things. It could be an energy that feels stuck in place where it's like, I can't make a choice. I can't make a decision. I don't know how to move forward. So that's just something to be aware of. Now, moving to the back end, as we get this one tucked back, and look, it's like he's staring right at the Seven of Swords. We get to the back end, we have a beautiful energy, right? This Ten of Pentacles, one of the best cards in the whole entire deck. I always link it to wins, victories, blessings, right? Stable, secure, just like the Earth suit itself. This could also be home and family. So when I see this, I think of expansion, right? I think of growth, especially over the long term. So this is a great card and it's very much claimable. The downside could show up as if you are having issues within the family unit. The downside could also be that stuck feeling. So you see it, we have this pressure building in the front. This energy could be stuck. This energy could be stuck. It's something we want to pay attention to, but the fact that it's on the back end could represent a positive outcome, which is something I think everyone would really enjoy, especially in Gemini season. But I want to dive deeper on all this, my friends. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here. What do we got for the beautiful Geminis? And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message. which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on that Seven of Swords. See what that has. And yeah, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Gemini, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, why is that Seven of Swords here, please? Why is it here? Cool. Okay. All right, so we have the Lovers in the upright, which is one of your power cards. Now, again, this says nothing about you, right? And usually it's great in a Gemini reading, the fact that it's in the upright, but it's a big card of partnerships. It really is. The people in our circle, not just soul ties and soul connections. Of course, it can be that. But there's just this very unsure, skeptical energy I'm picking up here for a lot of the Geminis. And it could, yeah, it could be revolving around another person. Obviously, not for every single one of you. But yeah, when I see the Seven of Swords with the Lovers in the upright, it's like, what is this person up to? What are they doing? What are their intentions? What are they hiding? It's like something like that I'm picking up here. So I don't want to just say, oh, this is a serious warning just yet. It doesn't mean that there's somebody absolutely doing you wrong or anything like that. But there is this big skepticism or not understanding why someone's moving the way they are. Now, for some Geminis, very few, maybe you're laying low, right? Maybe there's a situation where it's like, you know what, I'm just going to lay low a little bit. I'm going to be in the cut. Maybe you're being a little mysterious for whatever reason. Again, no judgment here. But that's the main vibe. Like, you know, when you're playing poker, you never show someone your hand. That's kind of how this feels to me on the front end. And we'll see how it progresses moving further. So could this turn into a warning at some point? Yeah, it can. But the main thing I'm picking up here is skepticism. Now, this could be spirit telling you to just keep your head on a swivel when dealing with a certain situation or a certain individual. We'll see as we move along. If we get more cards that point that way, you know I'm going to tell you. But we're going to keep moving. Yeah, there could be a little secrecy going on too. Just watch out for that. But let's see what's up with the Two of Wands, because that's an observing type of energy as well. So why is the Two of Wands here? Yeah, all right, this someone's mind getting the better of them potentially as well. Okay, nothing wrong with that. Now, the Seven of Cups usually to me is a card of options, choices, paths. So many possibilities. I usually love it. And I think it's okay here. But on the intuitive level, like with all this stuff on the front, now this here, it's like, you know, when you would just rather know something than be just left to your own imagination, that's partially how this feels. So it's like, all right, I would rather this person say it than let my mind take over and assume. So we're getting very specific. Only take it if it hits for you, because like there could be somebody misreading something or miscalculating it, where it's like my mind is getting the better of me. It's like they're not giving me information, so I have to fill in the blanks. It's like one of those, which is super specific. Again, only take what hits for you. There is this observant, cautious type of energy I'm picking up as well. And I think that's important. So, again, whether that's spirit telling you, like, hey, Gemini, proceed with caution, treat this situation with caution, be careful with this one, or that's just how somebody's moving. I don't know why they're keeping everything so close to the vest, but there is also this observing, this watching, this analyzing going on. So, again, I'm not saying you're doing it. Could be somebody else, could be from a variety of different methods where you might be under the microscope or you're putting someone else under the microscope. We're going to keep going. I'm getting hyper specific here on the front end. But let's see what's up with the Ten of Pentacles. Then we'll do a quick recap before we get into the shadow. So that's unique. That is unique. When I saw like all the planning and the strategy, I was thinking it was going to be similar to the fire signs, but we're taking a turn here. Let's go in on the Ten of Pentacles. Let's see what's up with that. In the positive sense, Two of Wands with the Seven of Cups absolutely is someone trying to plan for the best. So maybe it's an optimistic mindset. All right, let's keep going. I'm not going to start preaching optimism. You guys know how I am. Let's get in on that Ten of Pentacles. Why is that here? Okay, Queen of Wands. Cool. That's good. It's actually really good. Now, the Queen of Wands is all about confidence, and it's bold. Now, I think for some of you, regardless of what situations you have working in the background, regardless of the situations you're dealing with, it's important to not let one situation dictate your whole entire life. Now, the Ten of Pentacles, Queen of Wands, is just bursting with confidence. It's extremely magnetic. So when I see the Ten of Pentacles with the Queen of Wands, that is an attention getter. So in this time, again, more eyes. There might be a little more observing, more watching going on than normal, where it's like, oh, you got someone's attention here. Or maybe someone's got your attention. That's very possible with what we're seeing. We could put a blanket statement on this and say, hey, that's a win or a victory coming in. We'll take it. We'll claim it. It's good for that. But there is also a magnetism here where it's either like I'm getting someone's attention or they're getting mine. And the energy is presenting itself, which I think is great. Now, the Queen of Wands can also represent how someone treats themselves and how they view themselves. In the upright, again, she's confident, bold, sexy. She can also deal with looks and aesthetics. So sometimes she'll show up when you might be thinking about changing something about your look or how you present yourself. But yeah, with her underneath the Ten of Pentacles, looks great, feels great to me, and I'll call it a win. But just watch out for the magnetism because you might be getting more attention than you normally do from a variety of different sources. So, especially with the watching and observing we're picking up. But let's go through and do a quick recap, then we'll get into the shadow. So, a couple of themes showing up this week, but if you kind of look here, position number one, we have the Seven of Swords with the Lovers in the upright, one of your power cards. Yeah, there is this little keeping things close to the vest, not showing someone my cards, what I'm playing, a little bit of hidden information or secrecy happening, but I think that's okay. I don't necessarily feel like it's terrible for everyone. It's just an energy that's laying low for the most part. However, in the center, we have the Two of Wands with the Seven of Cups, where this is an energy where it's like, I just don't want to have to fill in the blanks with my own mind. I'd rather someone just tell me something. There is this other energy here that's being very cautious, very observant. And there's a lot of watching going on. So just know, especially when we move to the back end here, that you might be under the microscope more than normal. So again, whether that's at work, whether it's personal relationships, it's like there's eyes on. Ten of Pentacles, Queen of Wands, beautiful, bold, confident, regardless of the situations you may or may not have going on. It's important to not let one thing affect your whole entire life, if possible. Right? I know a lot of people are going through different things, but it's okay to be dealing with one difficulty, but deal with some positivity as well. And then, yeah, there's just this beautiful, everything will be okay type of energy. So we'll claim that. So please take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. Let's see what's in the shadows. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here and see what's happening for my beautiful Gemini friends. And yeah, I always like to pull one shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge, they could be a good thing. Let's get you one. And if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. All right, let's get this shadow card out. What do we got for the Geminis, please? Quick, super quick. Okay. All right, that fits the exact theme of some of the things we've been seeing this week. So in the shadows, we have the Nine of Wands. Now, this is the Wounded Warrior card. Normally, it's a picture of a dude who has built himself a wall and he has a little bandage wrapped around his head. Normally, it represents somebody that's gone through some things and they'd rather not go through it again. In the positive sense, this is a card of wisdom through experience, which is a very important thing. That's something that you can't duplicate. You know, sometimes like you have to go through something to gain the wisdom from it. But the shadow side of this card is absolutely shut down, right? Communication issues, secrecy, hidden information. And this is also a highly, highly skeptical card, right? So with all the stuff we've been seeing about observing and watching and filling in the blanks with the mind, it would make sense that we would see this. So I think it's important in this time to not let the mind run too wild. But I do think a cautious approach could be necessary for some of you. Whether it's a work thing, whether it's personal relationships, the Nine of Wands does not like taking risk. So there might be someone being a little risky. So we're going to put it down right there, my friends. That's what I have for you this week. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details. The June subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation or you'd like to have a chat with me, you can book a personal session with me on my website, mastermetaphysics.com. My June calendar is live and spots go quick, so you could go check that out. But for the June subscriber surprise, doing another winner's choice. The winners, which will be 3, will have a choice between either the Everyday Witches Tarot, which is a lovely tarot deck, one of my all-time favorites, or you can choose a custom pendant from my website, mastermetaphysics.com. So if you'd like to get your name in for that, it's 2 simple things. As always, my friends, first, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments, out of all the tarot cards in the deck, which one do you feel represents you and your energy best? You could even pick multiple if you'd like. You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab /post tab. My friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.